Joint meeting of the Gonzales City Council and Gonzales Successor Agency today, Monday, January 12th, 2026. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I'd like to ask our youth council members to please lead us in the pledge.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem, Bidwell,
Present.
Councilmember Stefan,
Present.
Councilmember Medford,
Present.
Councilmember
Present.
Thank you. We have a presentation, introduction of the new city employee.
Do you want to come up to the podium? So we want to introduce Ioana Mesa, who started with us about a month, 2 months ago.
2 months ago
Oh
now.
my goodness,
Yeah.
see, time just
Season
flew.
employee now.
Want to introduce her. You've probably seen her around, and she's been training and coming in here and just start doing, really absorbing everything, but just wanted to formally introduce her to you guys and see if she has a few words to say.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. I do want to appreciate the opportunity given to me, and I'm open to learning as much as I can.
Great. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I've already had the opportunity to speak with you at City Hall. Thank you. We'll move on to item 3, the business from the public. Business from the public that is not on tonight's agenda. Any member of the public may address the council agency for a period not to exceed 2 minutes on any subject that is not on tonight's agenda. The council agency will listen to all communications but take no action. Is there anyone here in the room that would like to come forward?
Just the mic. That's okay. Try to make it. Good evening, council. So most of this is going to be kind of miscellaneous critiques. For example, today's critique, most recent one, is this agenda paper says closed session available for public comment. So this says closed session is going to have public comment. That cannot happen, I assumed, because I would be there. So like that, another critique would be for the cyber safety presentation. It was in December. The police station or the police department made it up with 4 agencies. In my opinion, completely useless presentation if parents and children did not walk out with parental controls. Most of the content you would probably hear from the youth and from everyone else that I'm always getting nervous. I don't know why. Not in class. They already know this content. They already absorb it with story times and this one time I got kidnapped or how these weird guys are on Roblox. They already know this content. What my critique would be was in the actionable items, which would be that updated. And then another agency, the Youth Council, were not contributors to the content or the format, which is definitely a problem. If they're going to be a council, they should have veto power on this content, in my opinion. All right, that's not a critique, I guess. Social media from the city. Dates are sometimes, I wish I had 3 minutes. The dates are sometimes wrong, but staff replies fast. Candid posts from the city manager involving updates of events and infrastructure is greatly appreciated. I think your new hire is hired for GIS and social media, as I read for the description. I got rejected from it, just to let you know. Damn.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else here in the chambers that would like to come forward? Seeing none, is there anyone on Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Is there any email?
No comments via email.
Thank you. We will bring it back then to council for the next item. Yes.
I did just want to note that the listing on the agenda for the closed session and public comments is the correct way to agendize the fact that public comment is allowed on items that are on the closed session. You don't go into a detailed description. There's no staff reports, but for instance, one of the things we have on this evening's agenda would be discussions with bargaining units and so forth. So if a member of the bargaining unit knew that we were going to go into closed session, they would be able to address the council before we went into closed session. So that's the way it's been agendized. That's the way that the law reads in terms of agendized.
And is that at the same time that the public can make their comments about those
No.
particular items? Or
It's
no?
it's just required to be before we go into closed session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarification, Mike. Moving on to our consent agenda. Is there anyone from the public or the council that would like to pull an item for separate discussion? Seeing nobody jump up or raise their hands, I'll ask for motion for action.
Move to approve.
And second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Since we have 4 members tonight, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please. In favor? Mary?
Mayor Pro Tem Silva,
Yes, aye.
Councilmember Dunlap,
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy,
Aye.
Councilmember
Aye.
Thank you, Mary. We'll move on to regular agenda item number 7, changes to the Brown Act under SB 707, staff report.
As I think it's been brought up a couple of times, towards the tail end of 2025, and then I think subsequently SB 707 was passed in October of last year, and brought about a number of changes to the Brown Act. Most significantly, as the legislative analysis says, that the changes to the Brown Act expand and clarify teleconferencing rules, ensuring that remote meetings maintain transparency, provide public access and public comment opportunities, and accommodate public participation from members within the agency's jurisdiction. Most of the changes to the Brown Act are effective as of January 1st, 2026. The most significant and costly changes to the Brown Act only apply to what is known as eligible legislative bodies. So they basically split up the changes in 2 different ways. One is those changes that are must be complied with by eligible legislative bodies, and then those changes that everybody needs to comply with. The city of Gonzales does not fall into the definition of an eligible legislative body because we don't have a population in excess of 30,000. We don't, we're not located in a county with a population of 600,000 or more. So we are not required to comply with some of the more serious and expensive changes to the Brown Act. There's a lot of detail now about the way your website has to be set up, and translation, and so forth and so on. So the city of Gonzales is not required to comply with that. But we do have to satisfy many of the new SB 707 requirements. I'll run through a couple of them, but for the most part, they fall in the lap of staff to make sure that there's compliance with. But basically, the general amendments, basically, if you recall, we have always had a provision that allows remote participation by a council member when you get notice of the fact that they're going to be absent, you put it on the agenda where they're going to end the meeting from by way of a call, or more recently by way of a Zoom call, that sort of thing. They have to identify, where they're going to be, and they have to post the agenda at their residence. So that is embedded in the Brown Act. That remains the Brown Act. But what the new law does is creates 7 categories of special meetings that can be conducted, and they fall within. They all have a basic core set of rules, and then each separate set of circumstances that justifies a special noticing has some different rules and so forth. For our purposes, the only ones that we need to be concerned about are meetings that would be held in the case of emergency, in which we have had the occasion to do. I think it was flooding back in about 2011 or something like that. I think we had some flooding situations. Then also in COVID, we had then we could have some emergency measures taken and so forth. So there are a special set of rules that apply to emergency meetings, and then the just cause provision in the Brown Act that we would have for the previous 2 years that allows the council member to participate when they can establish a just cause for not attending. So for instance, if you were exposed to a contagious ailment or something along those lines, and you didn't want to expose your fellow council members and members of the audience with the same, that you were allowed to participate from home and so forth. For all of these, the common set of rules are very similar to what was in place before for the Just Cause. You must allow the public to remotely hear and observe the meeting, provide comment by way of a two-way audio-visual platform or a two-way telephone service and live webcasting. If disruptions occur that prevent observation, call-in service, the council is prohibited from taking action on agenda items until the service is restored. That's sort of a big one for all of these. And then the identity of the teleconferencing member and the specific provisions of the law must be included in the meeting minutes. And then finally, the teleconference member must disclose whether any individual 18 years or older is in the room with them. Might be periods of influence. I don't know what that rule is meant to address, but that is the rule, and that's sort of a continuance of this Just Cause. The Just Cause exception continues to be subject to limited use, and so in Gonzalez's case, a council member could only use it 5 times within a year. Then SB 707 has also added provisions that allow a legislative board member who has a disability to participate in meetings remotely. That is without having to rely on the Just Cause exception or any of those. So there's a case that came down that basically said that no, in order to bring California law into compliance with the American Disabilities Act and so forth and so on, if you had an elected official that had some difficulty in participating in it, they would be allowed to participate remotely on a pretty much an ongoing basis. If that was their particular need, they could shut it down. So that is a change as well. Another change is that the new law allows subsidiary bodies to have teleconference meetings. So subcommittee meetings and so forth that are regularly scheduled and covered by the Brown Act will be allowed to possibly allowed to conduct meetings and allow teleconferencing and so forth. That's going to be one of those things that staff is going to need to decide whether or not the new rules pertain. The allowance makes it clear that the primary driving factor here is that a subsidiary body cannot be a decision-making body. It can only be a body that recommends to the higher body. So in other words, recommendations, but they can't make any final decisions on anything. Otherwise, they can't have these remote meetings. Multi-jurisdictional bodies will also be allowed to have teleconferences now. So if you're a member of the, for instance, KMC board or something along those lines, and they all have members from various agencies and so forth, they will be able to set up their own rules that will allow for teleconference if they haven't already done so, and they'll just be in compliance with the rules that I just discussed. The council will also have to comply with a number of miscellaneous provisions that have been added to the Brown Act by SB 707. Again, they're probably not too important, and what's sort of interesting is that we are following most of these already. So, for instance, you're required now to provide a copy of the Brown Act to any member who is either elected or appointed to the city council or to any of the subsidiary bodies. We've always done that. That's for as long as I can remember, we provide a copy of the Brown Act. You have to now post your special meetings. So if we have a special meeting, which only requires 24-hour notice, you have to post the agenda for that meeting on your website as soon as possible. So right after you post it, or simultaneous with the 24-hour posting of your agenda. Previously, there was nothing in the law that talked about disruptive teleconferencing conduct, right? We had some law, we had some conduct that, we had some law that spoke to the issue of what do you do about when somebody's in a meeting and disruptive, but there was nothing specifically in the law that talked about what do you do when somebody calls in and it's being disruptive. You recall last year and the year before, we were having quite a few incidents of what is known as the, what was it called? Zoom bombing, right?
Yeah.
So the new law now allows you to treat somebody who is being disruptive by teleconference in the same way as somebody who's at your meeting. And if they are disrupting the meeting, basically turn them off. And the social media law, SB 707, eliminates the sunset clause. Previously, there was some law that talked about how council members may continue or to communicate with constituents on social media. You're supposed to refrain from discussing and engaging with your fellow council members, but it's okay for you to discuss things. That law now has been sort of codified and embedded. So So a lot of things we were already doing, which is nice to know that we were complying with what is supposed to be perceived as the cutting edge of the Brown Act. And a lot of it is in response, I think, to how everyone has learned that we have been able to conduct meetings with remote participation and conducting entire meetings by teleconferencing and an attempt to try to bring everybody up to speed on that. That's really the intent of SB 707. What council's asking for, what staff is asking council this evening is to provide just direction. No motions needed. We just need a consensus. The 3 points that are raised in the staff report, we'd like some direction that the city should prepare and adopt a procedure for receiving and resolving requests for reasonable accommodations. If we ever needed to do that, we'd like to have a process in place so that we would have to try to create something on the spot. Secondly, the council should adopt a resolution requiring that a copy of the Brown Act be provided to every newly elected or appointed member of the city council and subsidiary bodies. I can easily prepare that for your consideration at a future meeting. Also, the council should adopt a resolution or a policy requiring that its agenda be posted on its website every time a special meeting is called at least 24 hours before the meeting. We'll probably take care of that in a single resolution those 2 times. So that's the only direction that staff is seeking. Happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability, but a lot of the concern about the Brown Act changes has sort of dissipated because of the fact that we don't have to comply with, you know, the somewhat expensive translation and website requirements and so forth and so on. Not that we won't work with some of those, we may adopt some of those in the interim, but we just don't have. So.
Thank you. So I will take it out for public comment. Is there anyone in the chamber who would like to come forward with comment on this topic? Seeing no one rushing to the podium, I will go out to Zoom. Is there anyone on Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Anybody from email?
No comments via email.
Thank you. And I'll bring it back to council for discussion.
I just have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Just to confirm, because I know that we've always done it this way. If someone in the chambers wants to, if one of us are ill or whatever, and we want to be able to participate, we just have to let City Hall know, is it more than 24 hours or wasn't it 48 hours or something that you have to let them know so that they post that that person will be at a different location, correct?
So there's 2 different paths. One is the old rule. The old rule requiring you to notify us if we're not participating at least 72 hours because we need to post where you'll be participating from our agenda, right? The newer rule that allows for the just cause exception just requires you to notify the whomever, the city manager, a fellow council, the mayor, whatever, that you're going to be participating from home because of just cause. That's one of the other things that was happening. I don't think that we ever actually used the just cause exception here, but one of the awkward things about it was that when that happens, you had to state the just cause on record, and then the council had to vote as to whether or not they accepted the just cause, which was just kind of crazy and awkward, like what happened when someone said, no, we're not going to accept this, right? They got rid of that portion of the prior act that required you to have the council vote on it. Somebody just states just cause, goes to the record, they're allowed to participate. So in the case of somebody who gets sick on the same day as the meeting, you just need to notify somebody that knows that's 24 hours. It's supposed to be as early as possible, right? So wake up feeling sick, let us know or early. Right.
We've had that stipulation as part of AMBAG for the last year. So to your point, I think our very first agenda item is validating anyone either, for just cause. And we've had 2 or 3 throughout the year that no one we never voted that they couldn't vote and participate, but we had that opportunity.
Well, and the reason I asked that question is because I will not be able to make the next meeting because of my situation. So I thought, okay, what if I want to Zoom in and I can still participate? So therefore I should let you know 72 hours prior. But I probably won't feel good enough to do it, but I just thought if I want to hear what's going on, it might be good I could do that anyway. I could just be someone who's listening in. So, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what your situation is, and I don't want you to have to discuss.
Oh, no, I'm having surgery.
Oh, okay.
So-
So You can do it either way. If you want to notify us 72 hours in advance, but if you don't, and you just decided on that day, I'd like to participate.
I can do it as just cause. Okay, I got it. All right.
Okay, kind of like what the mayor did this afternoon, let me know that he wasn't feeling right.
Exactly.
He would not be here.
Okay.
And just one point of clarification. So, so for the other stipulations, I know you mentioned population over 30,000 and was it county over 600,000? So how close are we on that? County is about half, about five? Is it that low? Okay,
I'm gonna say about 4.
okay, okay. Fair enough. Okay, so we don't have to worry about it for
We're not
a few years then.
Million yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
Oh, goodness. Okay, thank you. So you don't require action, but I think all of us are in consensus, we're good. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just, it makes sense, right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to item number 8. Consider approval of resolution number SA 2026-02, a resolution of the successor agency to the former Gonzales Redevelopment Agency approving the last and final recognized obligation payment schedule 2026-27 through 2035-36. That didn't come off my tongue real easily. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor Pro Tem and council members. Tonight we have before you the last and final ROPS for the fiscal years 26-27 through 35-36. As part of the consent agenda, you also approved the ROPS for fiscal year 26-27. So you might be asking, why are we having to do both? In the year that an agency submits its last and final ROPS, we also have to submit the regular ROPS in the event that the Department of Finance does not accept the last and final ROPS. We have a ROPS in place that can continue to make sure that the payments are made for the fiscal year 26-27. So that's why one was routine, one is not routine. So tonight, this is the second to the last step to formally dissolving our former redevelopment agency. Just a little background, in 2012, the governor at the time dissolved RDAs and the wind down process began. And some of you may remember, we actually almost ended up in litigation with the Department of Finance. And through a lot of working with a great team at the Department of Finance and our insistence of not giving up, we finally won our case. So we were able to move forward. So we're at the point where when an agency is ready to submit its last and final ROPS, there are 3 findings that have to take place. The first finding is that all remaining debt of the successor agency is limited to administrative costs, payments that are for enforceable obligations, which have been previously defined on other ROPS, which includes all loans, agreements, and contracts. The second is that all remaining obligations must be previously listed on a ROPS for payment by the Department of Finance and approved. And the last one is the successor agency is not party to any outstanding or unresolved litigation. Tonight, we can declare that all 3 of those are true. The reason that we're moving this forward now is because we received a fairly stern letter from the Department of Finance in April of 2025. And actually, it wasn't directed to us. This time they directed the letter to the County Consolidated Oversight Board, directing them to closely look at our ROPS and justify why we have not moved to a last and final. So, when I talked about it, now is the time for us to move to our last and final. It's hard to justify not moving to that last and final when we only have 2 outstanding funds. So staff has prepared the last and final ROPS, which is attached to this resolution. This is probably will be one of your final actions to the, for the successor agency, should the Department of Finance approve the last and final ROPS. After approval this evening, this item will go before the County Consolidated Oversight Board next week. Once they approve it, assuming that they will, it will get sent to the Department of Finance by February 1st, and they will do their review. We will have a determination letter by April of this year, whether they've accepted it. Once they've accepted it, we no longer have to report to the Department of Finance. Our reporting is over, and they just send us our payments from now until 2036, when we make our final payment. And in 2036, the RDA will formally be dissolved and not exist in the city of Soledad any longer. So with that, staff is recommending that the council approve the last and final ROPS before we take it to submit it to the County Consolidated Oversight Board as the second to the last step of the former RDA. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mike. I'll open up public comment on this topic. Is there anyone here in the chamber who has anything to bring forward on this topic? Again, seeing nobody rushing up to the podium. Okay, I'll move it over to Zoom. Anybody on Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Anybody on email?
No comments via email.
Thank you. Then I'll bring it back to the agency for further discussion and action.
Madam Pro Tem,
It
make
is.
make the motion that we, on behalf of the city of Gonzales, we adopt resolution number SA 2026-02.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve this proposed resolution SA 2026-02 as presented. All in favor, I think we can just do a group. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Moving on. Now we can see 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
Item number 9, a public hearing to consider waiver of second reading, read by title only, and adopt ordinance number 2025-154, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales repealing Chapter 11.04 of the Gonzales City Code entitled California Building Codes and adopting a new Chapter 11.04 entitled California Building Codes and adopting by reference the 2025 edition of the California Building Standard Codes, California Administrative Code Part 1, California Building Code Volumes 1 and 2, Part 2, with exceptions and appendix chapters H, I, and J, California Residential Code Part 2.5, appendix chapters B, F, and CI, California Electrical Code Part 3, California Mechanical Code Part 4, California Plumbing Code Part 5, California Energy Code Part 6, California Wildland Urban Interface Code Part 7, California Historical Building Code Part 8, California Fire Code Part 9, with exceptions and all appendix chapters, California Existing Building Code Part 10, California Green Building Standards Code Part 11, California Reference Standards Code Part 12, and adopting the 2024 International Property Maintenance Code and the 1997 Uniform Code for the Abatement of Dangerous Buildings. Staff report.
No comment via staff. Peter, thank you very much. That was quite a mouthful, but basically, the administration exercising it had city concurrent state laws and quite opportunities for local enhancements. And the new codes here we adopted locally property to only require the standard. The next slide is increased safety standards, additional energy efficiency, and new requirements for pretty much administrative activity. We go to the last slide, presentation. Don't have to lose our breath again, make we mayor of town. Staff recommends that the city council now approve ordinance number 2554. City of Field place the chapters of California Building Code, adopted by reference to 2025 edition of California Code Standards. A little liberty with that description, but we fully read the title. That includes that, having presentation on that.
Thank you. Since this is a public hearing, I will open the public hearing now. Michael, since there's no one here, do I ask for Zoom? Seeing no one here in the chambers, is there anyone on Zoom that would like to say anything on this?
No comments via Zoom.
Is there anyone from email?
No comments via email.
Thank you. Then I will close the public hearing and bring it back to council for discussion and action.
Okay, so we do not have to read the entire motion again. Okay.
Go ahead.
No. No, thank you. You did a great job. Move to approve.
The motion should be to.
Consider,
Waive reading.
which is what,
By title only, which is already not.
consider waiver of second reading.
No, it's good, yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good. Great. What I said,
What she
what
said,
she
what he
said,
said.
what he said.
There you go. And second, on adopting ordinance number 2025-154.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve this as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. It was passed unanimously. Thank you. Item number 10, consider waiver of second reading, read by title only, and adopt ordinance number 2025-155, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales, California, amending Chapter 12.56, Summary of Zoning Districts and Permitted Uses of Title 12, Part 3, Zoning Districts. Staff report.
Wide gray area, similar to the team, for the vessel, does not apply to the other systems. And with the next slide, briefly, why staff, present these options here? Well, we're trying to incentivize investment in the industrial park, find new interest in long vacant underutilized smaller industrial properties there. Also, with the potential of adding with this one slide to promote the RV and mini storage, there's a potential to help unpack some of our neighborhoods from the garages that can't hold cars and driveways that can't hold side-by-sides and RVs. And there's and one also enhance our code enforcement ability and all of that's the place.
Sure.
So, and we've also streamlined the process here where I found it like rather necessary for review and go to the planning commission, well executed site plan and standards. I work through those things that have industrial development standards within the place. There's, we have good meter to measure design, full architecture. So that's what that's there. And if we could, slip a few slides forward. Oh, there we go. So particular enhanced would be allowing newly permitted recreational vehicle storage yards, storage, retail sales, and just language that has the more of a heavy nature, not dress shops and ice cream shops. Personal protective equipment, say, that you might need on farm or power saws or medical services such as urgent care. Wouldn't want to scare away someone that would provide urgent care. So we lowered the thresholds. Site plan. And also adding caretaker and live work or dwelling unit may be offered in this district subject to planning staff. And I think that is just a measure that enhance the viability of self-storage. Where there's going to be eyes on the street, what's that sound, watching. So I have been taking before, the chair, the benefits of that, I really think it reached the conclusion right now, and any questions, recommend that council. Secretary, Jordan, mandating the several sections, chapter 4.56, summary of the I respond to them, but we'll start a second.
Thanks, Tavin. I'll take it out for public comment. Anyone in the chamber have anything to comment on this topic at this time? Seeing no rush to the podium, I'll take it out to Zoom.
We do have a comment via Zoom.
They raised their hand.
Sorry, just a quick one and I'll be out. Tavin's
Who is
mic
it?
has been muted twice. Little human error, that's fine. I just want to point that out. Thank you. Bye.
Who is it?
Oh, it
This
the
was
gentleman
Andrew
that was here
Brown.
earlier? Okay, I just didn't know who it was. I don't recognize voice. Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I did not hear it. Is he on or is he not?
Can you repeat your comment, please? It was missed by the council.
No worries. I thought I left too. I don't know how to leave the thing. Mr. Tavin Brown's mic was off for the last two presentations, so it was just him like echoing for Zoom viewers.
I apologize for that. Okay, so I apologize that you were unable to hear his last two presentations. We are now at item number 10. Do you have any public comment on this item?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, is there anyone else on Zoom?
No other comments.
Thank you. Anyone on email? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for further discussion and action.
Yeah, Madam Pro Tem, make the motion that we adopt ordinance number 2025-155.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous in favor. Thank you, everyone. Okay, done with that item. We'll move it on to our Gonzalez Youth Council updates.
Thank you very much. So for our updates for today is that on January 10th, some of the current and past members of the Gonzalez Youth Council attended the grand opening of the community center. Members present were. All right, thank you. Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, on January 10th, some of the current and past members from the Gonzalez Youth Council attended the grand opening ceremony of the community center, and members were present and were able to explore the newly developed community center and were enthusiastic with the results and recognition. Another update that we have is that our final GYC meeting from the fall semester consisted of discussing our plans to introduce student volunteer opportunities to Gonzalez High School students and introduce them with our project. Students who are interested in helping must have a design or prototype of the food pantry and can even be considered to paint the food pantry. That is all the updates that I have for now.
Thank you.
As for our Gonzalez High School updates, it's simply only one. The Early Academic Outreach Program will simply be hosting activities throughout the first month of school, considering that we are barely returning and seemingly trying to accustom to our school schedule. As for future GYC related dates, on January 20th, the Gonzalez Youth Council will meet with both the Soledad and Greenfield Youth Councils for a meet and greet. And finally, on January 22nd, the Gonzalez Youth Council will have their first GYC meeting of the spring semester. This is all to report to the Gonzalez Youth Council with current actions, planned events, and dates. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We will move on to our city council member board comments. And the mayor's not here, but he did send me his information. He said there's nothing to report for TAMSI. We'll check that off the list. With regards to the mayor selection committee, he did mention that the mayors have selected Bruce Delgado from Marina as their new chair for this coming year. And then moving on to Salinas Valley Recycles, which is mine. We have made a decision on the new general manager for the Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, which will become public information this coming Thursday. I know who it is, but I can't say it yet because in closed session, you know, I don't want to violate that Brown Act. So, but you know, it's always hard to choose somebody to replace somebody who's been at the helm for 18 years. So I was part of the interview process. It was very interesting and challenging because there's so many qualified people out in the world. And I think we made a good decision. And if you're interested, come to our meeting this Thursday, 6 p.m. right here in the council chambers. And we will, I think, make the announcement towards the end of the meeting. It does start at 6, and those meetings generally last about an hour and a half, give or take. Let's see, moving on to Measure K oversight.
Do you want to tell everybody?
You tell them.
We were able to find some additional money from the Measure K funds, which was $25,000. So Carmen let us know about this, the committee folks, and we've determined that we're going to work on the website. So we've all decided as a group that that's what we were going to come up with, and I think it's a good decision. And we're very excited. So have you already got that all in place?
Is it ready?
You're ready? You're ready to go? It's coming. Okay.
Good news.
So anyway, that's really good news, I think. And hopefully the gentleman that was here earlier heard me say that. I hope you heard me say that. We are updating our website.
That's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news.
And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. So the Measure K for the grants, are they going to happen this year or not?
They are, and I'm trying to get the subcommittee together to review the applications and determine the awardees. There's been a little bit of a slight delay given all the changes and additional staff workload, but that's coming.
How many applications did we get? Do you know?
Oh, man.
It's okay.
I can't remember.
More than
We've received a few.
More
Yeah.
than one.
5 or 6 or
Oh, good news, always good news.
So
Yes,
I just have a question on the applications. Do you think some of them, or that the committee will meet before? I know the Children's Festival is always held in the last Sunday in April.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, we would, I had already emailed the subcommittee identifies, members of the
Okay.
subcommittee to help review the applications.
Thank
And so we're just, working on a date. So that should happen in the next 2-3 weeks.
gotta hydrate.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, everyone. Good news all the
Yeah,
way around.
That is good.
Okay, we'll move on to oral communications from our city council members. I'll start with Lorraine.
Well, hooray, hooray for Saturday. What a great job everyone did. Just to see the community participate, to come and show up, and everyone seemed very excited. I know that Carmen worked really hard and staff worked really hard to put that day together. It was great having all of our legislators there, and it was beautiful. We had a perfect day, and I know everybody here felt the same way. We were all there, and hopefully Jose will feel better, and I know he was there too. I am going to be down for the count here in about a week. I'm having hip replacement surgery, so my age is starting to catch up with me, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that I will be able to be back in the saddle here in a couple of weeks. So anyway, no pun intended, exactly.
Has nothing to do with horses.
I know. So that's all I have, and moving on.
Thank you. Scott?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, kudos to Carmen and staff for leading the efforts to get the community center open. So thank you very much. I know we have a lot of work to do ahead of us and so forth for programming and so forth. But I know we're on to a new chapter in the city of Gonzales. So very much appreciated for all the leadership and direction to make that happen. So that's it tonight.
Thank you. Maria?
Yes, thank you. I also want to echo my colleagues' comments regarding the ceremony on Saturday. There was a lot of oohs and ahs that I heard, especially from folks who were involved from the very beginning and who saw the process. Positive comments regarding our youth and their involvement with the project, so that was really good. I'd like to thank the students and the high school band and also the other performers who performed on that day. So great event, and thank you to the staff and Carmen for your taking the lead on this project. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to echo everybody. I mean, we probably sound like a broken record. You know, our small little town, it comes out big for these kinds of events, and it's everybody's effort as a team to get it all done, from the youth to the staff to the community itself, the elected officials from throughout the valley. And I had mentioned to Carmen during my meeting on Friday, I said, maybe we should have some forms in case people want to buy a brick, because once they see the bricks, they're going to like them. I had already been over to take some pictures, especially of the bricks from my family members. And I had many people come up, how do I get a brick? How do I get, I think Carmen's had, I think each of us has probably had people saying, how do I buy a brick? How do I buy a brick? So for those that are interested in buying a brick, contact City Hall. They will have the information soon enough, because we want this to be a community effort. It's not just those that are there. We want to continue putting more. They may not all get out, you know, if you order it this week, it's not going to be in next week. We'll take some orders, get a few together and put them in. But this is our community. This is our complex, thanks to the efforts of people like the Caprera family, from people who saw the vision, some of the growers that were there this week, the Tanamiras, the Diarrigos, the Taylors, the Ravas, everybody came together. They were all there enjoying it, and especially had many wonderful things about how we include the youth in our decision-making. I was especially excited to see Jeffrey Alvarez, who was one of our first members 10 years ago. I had not seen him in a few years, so it was a real joy for me to see him there. And I enjoyed the dancers. They're beautiful dancers from Seaside, I think they are. Cindy Aguilar, another former member. I remember when I first met Cindy, I was in awe of her because we were in a meeting that had parents, and she, and I think it was Izzy Mendoza, that they were translating during a meeting. They were spot on. They were just like, they should be court translators as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't miss a beat. For people who are not bilingual, it's hard because when they hear the language that they're not familiar with, they have to wait to hear their own language. Some of us that are fortunate enough to know both languages know that they're not missing very many words. If anything, they're getting their point across. So that's to all of the young people. Keep that, keep your bilingual, keep that ability, because it goes a long way. And I think it makes the whole community proud of all of you that can have that ability to be able to communicate with more people. So I just want to throw that out there. Thank you to everybody who was there. It was fun. I even dragged my husband out there, and a lot of people don't ever see him, but he was there and he saw people. I'm amazed at all the choices that were made for the Teen Innovation Center. It's awesome. I want to go hang out there if I can. Can I get a special pass once in a while? Meeting room, everything, the library. I know the library's not ready yet. I know it was kind of a soft opening that day, but I look forward to being able to go in there and utilize that as well. I did take my mother over there because it was too cold that morning to take her, but she was able to see the grounds. I drove her towards the back. I showed her the amphitheater, which that was new to me because that was being constructed Friday. when I was out there. I saw those boards going up. It's like, I don't know if they're gonna get it done. I don't know if they're gonna get it done. Got it done. I don't know what time they finished, but I'm sure it was late into the evening. It looks awesome. The Rubo Pura Amphitheater, which is, Stan Pura and Mark Pura, their mother grew up here. She was a Rubo and she married, Wimpy Pura from Greenfield. So that's in honor of her. And she passed away a few years ago. She grew up here, an alumni of our school systems here. Just about everything has a personal connection. At least I know some of the families. I grew up with some of the families, some of the old timers I saw come back that don't live here anymore. They're all amazed at everything that you all have made happen. Like I said, it took the team. Thank you so much. It was a dream come true for me because I grew up here. And when you grow up, you're going like, we're never going to see something like this in Gonzales. You know, we're just little farming town in the middle of the valley. But guess what? We have it, and it will be our shining star. More so, maybe even than the water tower, our little golf ball out there. So thanks to all of that. Just a reminder, there will be no senior lunch this month. It's usually the third Thursday of the month at the Parish Hall. But none this month, so that the committee can actually get together and they make blankets. If anybody knows of a senior who is either a shut-in or is going through some kind of a serious health issue right now, please let me know, let Carmen know. And that way we can get something to them on behalf of the adventure seeking seniors. They're putting together some blankets, and I think they've done this for quite a few years now. So keep them in your thoughts as they get through that project. And outside of that, I know that there's a pretty important football game going on tonight to kind of go on to the next phase of NFL football for the year. And so if you're all football fans like I am, because my team played this past weekend, I hope your team makes you happy. Mine did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go on to the city manager. Yeah, you guys basically took my comments too, but the only thing I do want to just give a shout out to everybody that worked on the community center, everybody that made it out yesterday. We actually had quite a few folks come all the way from LA. Joe Matthews, that writes stories on us, was here joining us, so he's going to be putting stories together regarding the center as well, and just Saturday's events. Caroline from Group 4 that worked with us through the design phase was here from Seattle too. So there was quite a few people that just, wanted to join us in the celebration. So it was pretty amazing to see all the support. I too heard nothing but great comments and people that couldn't even, same as you, Councilwoman Silva, folks that couldn't come during the event itself because they were feeling ill or whatever, came right afterwards. They were sending me videos of them bringing out their parents or themselves looking at the pavers and just everything out there. We do have a few papers left. What we're doing is working with the contractor to see what the best way to order more is, but you will soon be able to access the QR code to enlist for the next round of papers. So do kind of keep an eye out for that. We will be sure to get it out there as soon as it's ready to go. And then just the start date, full programming starts on the 26th. Folks start moving in next week. They needed one more week to kind of finalize some things, and folks start moving in, and the Boys and Girls Club starts programming on Monday, the 26th.
Wow. 2 weeks.
So go ahead, Mr. Kinnison Brown.
One day till Monday, EIR, Toby meeting kickoff. We're going to get underway with EIR, that specific plan, 2,600 units and about 500 acres on Glory Road. On Monday, 19th, the electronic billboard sign start construction on the sign. I heard from the sign company that they will have 5 days. And we might be able to get some electricity in 5 months. But we're doing our best to coordinate them for electricity.
Jose isn't here. We need to talk.
I have a comment.
Board.
Yeah.
That's good.
In clear, just like one of the things of President Rosa, you all have heard that the grand opening on Saturday at the road
Mhm.
in the air, we were flying it all morning.
Oh.
It was lots of beautiful shots of
Cool.
the ceremony, context of Gonzalez, the bright shiny clean water tank, the hillsides, and we had a lot of beauty shots that we'll be able to assemble at some later time in the promotion, whatever, that will be the data.
Oh, nice.
You got the stage as well, but thank you very much. Being the first with its personal drone on this time to be able to make that happen. So I've seen some of the imagery, just beautiful, seeing all the dignitaries place and the marching bands.
Awesome.
Good stuff, thank you.
Will that video be shared with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation to kind of show them?
It's just small,
It's okay.
Good idea. And actually, I was in a town not too long ago, and I saw that they were an All-American city multiple years in a row. So I think we're gonna have to apply again and get another maybe 2026,
Okay.
27 on our American city flags. So
Good.
I like the idea. We'll just
Okay, thank you. Mike, you have anything? Mary, you have anything? You sure? Marisol? No? Chief? Nada?
Everybody looks so enthusiastic.
Okay, well, seeing no other further business from our staff, we will go into closed session. I will read the two items that we will be discussing tonight. Any member of the public may address the council on a closed session item appearing on the agenda. Speakers shall have a limited time of 2 minutes. Please be brief and to the point. Item number 15, the city council will recess to closed session to meet with its designated representatives regarding labor relations matters pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The employee groups are Gonzales Police Officers Association, Gonzales Police Supervision Association, International Firefighters Local 5388, and unrepresented employees. Item number 16, the city council will recess to close session to consider personnel matters pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, evaluation, city manager.
Through the chair on item number 2, that item is going to need to be continued because of the fact that the mayor is not here and
Okay.
the full council for the evaluation process.
Then we will remove item 16 tonight and move that to a future meeting. Thank you, sir. So is there anyone, obviously nobody here in the chamber, anyone on Zoom that would like to comment on item number 15?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Anybody on email?
No comments via email.
Then we will adjourn now to closed session, and the time is 6:58 PM.